This is a warning to the human race. Your diplomats are dead.
By the time episodes 3 and 4 of The War Between the Land and the Sea are over, one thing becomes painfully clear. This war was never really about humans versus the sea. It's about fear. It's about control. And it's about who gets to decide the future when truth itself can be weaponized. This week's double feature, The Deep and The Witch of the Waterfall, pushes the series into much darker territory. We get political conspiracies, assassination attempts, deepfake propaganda, and a relationship that may end up being the key to stopping an all-out war between two worlds. So let's break down exactly what happened, explain that explosive ending, and talk about why Salt and Barkley's connection is far more important than it first appears. Episode 3, The Deep, A Descent into the Unknown. Episode 3 picks up immediately where last week left off, and it doesn't waste any time raising the stakes. Barkley, alongside a unit-led task force and a group of diplomats, descends 500 miles beneath the ocean to meet representatives of Homo Aqua, including the Sea Devils, in what is essentially the most dangerous peace summit imaginable. From the very start, the episode leans heavily into atmosphere. This isn't just a physical descent, it's a psychological one. Every shot reminds us how small and vulnerable the human delegation really is. Waiting for them is Ambassador Salt, calm, composed, and clearly in control of her environment. And right away, the show gives us a quiet, intimate moment between Salt and Barkley as they swim ahead of the group. This scene matters more than it seems. There's no exposition dump, no grand speeches, just two people sharing space in a world that doesn't belong to one of them. The romantic tension between them isn't loud or dramatic, it's restrained, almost fragile, and that restraint makes it believable. Salt teasing Barkley, even joking about his ears resembling fins, does something important. It humanizes her, and at the same time, it shows Barkley relaxing in a place where he really shouldn't feel safe. That sense of uneasy calm doesn't last. The assassination attempt that changes everything. The peace talks are held in a massive underwater hall, filled with sea devils and other representatives of sea life. This is supposed to be a moment of diplomacy proof that coexistence might still be possible. Instead, it becomes the spark that pushes the war closer than ever. Ted, who we learn has been a plan all along, activates a sonic bomb in an attempt to assassinate Salt. This reveal is brutal, not just because of the violence, but because of what it represents. The attack doesn't come from the sea. It comes from within the human delegation. Barkley realizes something is wrong just seconds too late. He tackles Ted, knocking both him and the device over the edge of the rock face. A desperate, instinctive move. But it's not enough. The bomb detonates mid-fall, sending shockwaves through the chamber and incapacitating everyone present, except Salt and Barkley. They survive by sheer proximity and luck, barely escaping with their lives. And just like that, diplomacy is dead. Back on land, Kate's isolation begins. While Barkley is risking everything beneath the sea, Kate Lethbridge-Stewart is fighting a very different battle on land. Downing Street, led by a prime minister who increasingly looks overwhelmed and indecisive, begins conspiring with the military and corporate oil interests. And Kate can feel the ground shifting beneath her feet. Unit is being sidelined. Information is being withheld. Decisions are being made without her. She's isolated politically, and soon, tragically, she becomes isolated personally as well. In a rare quiet moment, Kate returns home with her partner, trying to decompress from the pressure. It's one of the few times we see her let her guard down. And then everything shatters. A sniper's laser sight appears. Her partner reacts instantly. He saves her life and loses his own. This isn't just shock value. It's a turning point for Kate's character. From this moment on, every decision she makes is fueled by grief, guilt, and a growing distrust of the system she serves. Episode 4, The Witch of the Waterfall. Truth becomes a weapon. Episode 4 begins almost immediately after the assassination attempt underwater. Salt and Barkley reach the surface shaken, injured, and fully aware that whatever fragile piece existed is now hanging by a thread. And then comes the deepfake. A video is released showing Salt threatening Earth with all-out war in retaliation for the attack. It spreads instantly, doing exactly what it was designed to do: provoke fear. Kate orders the unit to verify the footage, suspecting manipulation. But suspicion alone isn't enough when public opinion and political pressure are already shifting.
Man down! Code red, urgent assistance required!
Enter General Oscar Gunsberg. Gunsberg doesn't need proof. He needs an excuse. He uses the footage to apply immense pressure on the Prime Minister, pushing for military action before UNIT can slow things down. Stuart Alexander plays Gunsberg brilliantly calm, calculating, and always one step ahead. This isn't a man who believes in peace. This is a man who believes in leverage. Salt in custody and Barclay's choice. Salt is taken into UNIT custody for her own protection, but the reality is obvious. She's become a liability. Barkley undergoes a brutal debrief, and it's clear he's being tested not just for information, but for loyalty. And when Salt is airlifted in a transport container, Barkley makes the most dangerous decision of his life. He hijacks the vehicle. Without hesitation, he reverses it straight into the River Thames, sending the container crashing into the water and allowing Salt to escape. This moment defines Barkley. He chooses trust over protocol, connection over command, and conscience over career. He dives in after her, officially becoming a fugitive in the process. The final standoff ending explained.
Why in the name of the waters would you do that? Why, you beasts of such...
With Salt now free, General Gunsberg moves fast. He orders her capture, turning London into a battleground of competing authorities. UNIT wants her alive. The army wants her neutralized. Barkley, knowing all communications are being monitored, uses a random bystander's phone to call his wife and ask for help, a small human moment in the middle of chaos. But they're running out of time. As UNIT forces and the British Army converge along the Thames, tensions reach a breaking point. Guns are raised. Orders are shouted. No one wants to blink first. And then Salt disappears into the water. The final shot leaves us with a chilling image. Two human factions facing each other, ready to fight, while the real enemy slips away unnoticed. The war hasn't started yet, but it's closer than ever. Why Salt and Barkley matter. At this point, it's clear that the relationship between Salt and Barkley isn't just emotional. It's thematic. Salt represents a future where coexistence is possible. Barkley represents a human willing to cross lines for that future. Their bond challenges the idea that loyalty must always be national or even species-based. And if this series is heading where it seems to be heading, that connection may be the only thing capable of exposing the lies, stopping the propaganda, and preventing total annihilation. Final thoughts. I was genuinely surprised to see the BBC air these 2 episodes back-to-back, especially with only 5 episodes in the series. It suggests a desire to keep momentum high, and it works. Yes, there are unanswered questions, particularly around how the human team survived such extreme depths without consequences. But for now, that mystery feels intentional, likely tied to the Sea Devil's technology. More importantly, the emotional and political stakes have never been clearer. With 1 episode left, the war between the land and the sea isn't just setting up a finale. It's asking whether humanity's capable of choosing truth over fear. And honestly, I'm not sure we're ready for the answer. Thank you for watching.